Good morning, everyone, and how are you this morning? I hope you're doing well. Before I get into this, and I do want to make this quick because, quite frankly, I'm running a little behind today. And what I want to say before I go on is, if you're the type to engage in any kind of prayer or rain dance or just throwing off some good vibes, maybe lighting a candle for someone, I would like you to do so for my friend Witcharoo in Australia. Seems that her housing situation has kind of fallen through. Things are not looking good right now. And if you don't know who she is the one who made this beautiful deck that we use here on this channel. And we use it pretty exclusively, number one, because I don't have any other rune decks besides Viking Oracle, and number two, well, because personally, I think it's a great deck. I really do. I think it works. I think it works really well. So while I'm laying out the cards, I definitely want you to keep her in your thoughts. Her and her husband are currently trying to ameliorate their situation, and I want them to have the absolute best of luck. I want them to be able to find a new place. I know I've been kind of sort of following the been trying to follow what's going on with that. All I know is that right now they're kind of out. They are trying to get things together, and I'm just kind of hoping that they do eventually. As far as the Runes of the Gods Oracle on her Etsy shop, if you do order a deck, there may be delays. Like I said, she's in the process of packing everything and moving out of that place she was living in, as well as her husband, so we're not exactly sure what's going to happen there. Now, as far as decks go today, we have Runes of the Gods. That's going to be just like every other time. We have Viking Oracle, Spirit Animal Oracle, Holographic Rider-Waite, and Astral Realms Crystal Oracle. And this is Traditional Thursday because this is actually how I started reading. Had a few different decks, and rather than just pulling out one and reading that way, I did it this way. Kind of give us the most clear picture. And it was like this for a while, almost every day of the week. And then Fridays I went really big. And that's what's going to happen tomorrow. And I think I'm going to film that tonight. And then try to, I'm just trying to find a place to set that. Try to get that out like around midnight or so. Mainly because I'm going to have a really, really big day tomorrow. I've got a really big day today. And yeah, let's just say things at work have taken a really weird turn. And things are not exactly easy. Then again, when are they ever? So let's go into this reading. Let's see what's happening. Sort of like a daily forecast. Only I'm not predicting the weather, because all I gotta do is look outside and I can tell you it's pretty gloomy. Starting with you. Right now you can embrace this void. And this is the space between both extremes. Nothing's been decided. Today you're in complete control. This is where the I mean, you'll still be guided, but you are entirely at the controls today. And the void is just there. It just is what it is. It's nothing to worry about. It's not the end of anything. It just means that right now, all the controls are yours. It's all manual. Now you can choose to take the rest of this as advice, or you can say, not the way I'm going to go today. So, what's guiding you? On Thursday is Thor. Kind of looking to bust out of that rut. This is kind of a bit of brute force. And what Thor represents is, of course, smashing through your barriers, smashing through your boundaries. Taking that action. So, no more hesitating. Also, you can still be forceful, but you can still be sensitive. Now, something about Thor. Thor was considered the strongest of the Aesir gods. And of course, there are all these stories about his battles and his bravery, including that with the great serpent Jormungand at Ragnarok. But Thor was sort of a god of contrast, so he protected humans. He was loved for his powers over fertility, and he was also known for his hot temper. But he was a god of action, but he was also a poet in culture. And he greatly appreciated orators, storytellers, musicians, and poets. But he was also a god of storms. And Thor kept in a chariot pulled by 2 savage giant goats that thundered across the sky. Now, with Thor, we're being told something. We're being told, and this is super important, that a storm can't consume you if you're the storm. Right when Thurisaz comes up, the first rune of Thor's name, that is exactly the point. So your spirit animal for today, beaver spirit. And with this, we know beavers tend to construct things. Beavers will actually take just debris and things that you and I would step on, kick aside, or not give a second thought to, and they'll construct a dam. They'll literally plug up a flowing river. I don't know how many rivers you've grown up around, but I can tell you one thing: when a river gets going, there's no stopping it. Unless you're a beaver and you know when to construct something. But in order to construct that something, you have to have a solid foundation. It doesn't work any other way. If the foundation gives, the entire structure goes. So, looking like a little chaos and confusion today, but if you have solid foundations, you should be alright. Let's look at your tarot cards. We've got a 3 of Pentacles, we've got the Moon. Funny, we've had the Moon this week. And we've got an 8 of Wands. Let's start here. You are going to have to work with others. You're going to have to work with others on something solid, something tangible, something real. And if you get that baseline established, right now, you know who you need to work with. You know who you need to talk to. You know who you need to, you know who's solid, right? There's a scene in the movie Suicide Kings where Christopher Walken is talking to these guys who basically kidnapped him. And they're holding him for ransom. And He said, some things, like word on the street, that's solid. To a guy like him, even just rumor can turn out to be very, very true. And they learn to go on it. They learn to trust their gut. And that's something else I'm seeing in here, is learn to trust your gut. If you're not doing that already, if you're not trusting your instinct, your intuition, those gut feelings, that little nagging voice in the back of your head that says, wait an extra second at that stoplight before going through. Today's a good day to do it. Because, transitionally speaking, it's going to be kind of a bit of a scary time. You're not going to have a whole lot of illumination. You're not going to have a whole lot of guidance. You're going to have to rely on each other in order to get through it. And I'm going to tell you one thing. Ideas are going to come quick and fast. Life is going to come quick and fast. Be ready. Stay very alert today. Okay? Let's go to the astral realms. Let's see what crystals come up. I've got apophyllite. Sorry, sometimes these cards are a little hard to read. The text is very light on them. I've got pink amethyst. And I've got lace agate. So, what do they mean? Well, this one is all about your curiosity. Today's a good day to let your curiosity kind of, take it and kind of run. If you're wondering about something, today is the day to look into it, because that is information that will probably benefit you. Sharing that out of divine love. This doesn't have to be romantic, by the way. It just means you care enough about somebody to kind of reach out and do something. Whatever it is you can do. And armed with new knowledge, you can do quite a bit. Remember, we talked about using your gifts in service to others. Well, that's not going away today. Try to focus on them. And if there's something you don't know, that's where your people come in. That's where that Three of Pentacles comes in. And then, this lace agate, this is about that air energy. And this one points to your adaptability. We're pointing right at that Eight of Wands again. And so far I can tell you, and just from looking here, just in this one spot, is that you do need to remember, we talked about him being Thor being forceful but sensitive. That's where this one comes into play. Your curiosity should be sparking some collaboration with others. It's going to be a collaborative effort. It can't just be about you or someone else. It has to be collaborative today. But you have to remain adaptable. You need to be able to switch up at a moment's notice, using what you know, using what you've learned. And then finally, we have Nothies, Othala. It's good to see that one come up. And Fehu. Well. Okay, here we are. Now, let's look at Nothies for a second. Nothies is all about need. It's about endurance. It's about letting go of obsessions. Focus on your needs, okay? Your needs and the needs of others. Nothies is part of the reason I tell you, take care of yourselves and each other every day. Because you can't take care of anyone else until you've set yourself up to do so. That is just fact of the matter. Let's just say, now all these people, they're going on and on, or they did, about Elon Musk buying Twitter, and, oh, well, with that, those billions of dollars or whatever he's spending, he could have done X, Y, and Z. Well, There is truth to that. And it's a good point, yes. He could have. But I'm sure he saw a need and he decided to fill that need. And that was more important to him. Now, if you have that kind of money, let me ask you, will you do that? Will you fill all those needs that you listed? If so, and if you have it, put your money where your mouth is and do it. But if you don't have it, fact of the matter is you can't do it. Get what I'm saying? Okay. Another, before I move on, want to let you know, you can't lift anyone up if you're not on higher ground yourself. Because then all you're doing is dragging yourself down. You can't swim unless you know how to swim. You can't build unless you have the materials. So try that. We have Othala, which is our ancestors. Our predecessors, those who came before us. We do have an inheritance from this if we choose to accept it. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, not everything your ancestors did was wrong. They got you here. You are here right now watching this little video I put together because of your ancestors. You need to be thanking them because they got you here. And they went through a lot to get you here. And there's where your guidance comes in. Those who came before you in that Three of Pentacles, they're going to help you adapt, lay sag 8, to that Eight of Wands when it's coming at you fast. All those new ideas are going to be popping into your head. You need to be ready to move on them. Pointing at Thor again, there's your action. You're navigating some pretty dark times. There's a lot of uncertainty with the void and the moon here. But Fehu is wealth, it's abundance. So, what do you have an abundance of? What can you draw from? I think Othala speaks for itself, personally. Try not to focus on what your predecessors did wrong or what may be an anachronism to you. Engage that curiosity a little bit. See why. Why did that work? How did that work? Answer those questions. Better yet, let them answer the questions, because the answers will also be coming just as fast as the ideas. The answers will be coming as quickly as life comes at you, and you'll be able to pivot even in those uncertain times to lay a solid foundation. You'll get exactly what you need out of it, and you'll be able to act from this position. Doesn't mean you have to like the person. Doesn't mean you have to like anything. But the act will be there, and it will be appreciated. This is your call to action, ladies and gentlemen. And that's the best summary of this thing I can give you. It's a pretty powerful message, and it needed to get through. And with that, I think I'm going to close out now, because I think I've said all that needs to be said. It's all right there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you can choose to take this advice and run with it. If you don't feel this advice applies to you, maybe you know someone who does. And that is truly sharing the wealth and the abundance, isn't it? Seems like it to me. So, with that being said, I'm going to close out with I love you all. Take care of yourselves and each other. Always do what lights you up. And as always, shine on.